everyone, it's me, Anne-Marie, and welcome to our city homestead. Today, my hot beverage is Holiday Mocha Mix. I'll put the link for that recipe in the description. It's like a spiced hot chocolate meets coffee. It is super delicious. And I put a little bit of cream in there, and yeah, it's really good. Anyways, I've got a microphone, so hopefully you can hear me a lot better. Super excited for that. I just got it in. So yeah, I'm excited to have have better sound. So yay. Anyways, and today I'm going to be flipping through a cookbook with you, an old-fashioned one. Just got it in. I haven't even opened it yet. So I'm excited to flip through that with you, and let's get started. All right, so here is our cookbook. Let's rip this open here. Now I did get it used, of course, because it is pretty old. All right, so. All right, here is our cookbook. This book was published in 1896. It is the original cookbook that she's most known for, and she wrote these cookbooks as a way to explain the scientific process of cooking. So let's flip through these pages here. There's all kinds of things in here, recipes for bread and biscuits and all kinds of different meats, eggs, cereal, pancakes, like griddle cakes, all kinds of stuff, soups. Pretty neat. All kinds of jams, how to build a fire, how to cook things, how long to cook things for, beverages, so how to make tea, coffee. That is what I'm excited to try because I've seen different coffee recipes from the 1800s using egg. You put the egg and the eggshell with the coffee grounds into the pot. Now, of course, they would make the coffee over, the hearth or a cook stove, a wood cook stove, but we'll have to do it the modern version, and that's totally okay. There's filtered coffee, boiled coffee, and this is the coffee that we will be trying. So we can see how that turns out. I am super excited to give that one a try. And then cocoa and chocolate, all kinds of beverages in here. All right, let's flip ahead. Griddle cakes, that sounds good. Sour milk, we have lots of whey left over from making yogurt and cheese. So maybe I'll give this one a try. But instead of sour milk, I'll use the whey. All right, what else we have? All kinds of waffles, rice waffles, different cereals, pasta, eggs, different ways to cook eggs. Let's see what else. Looks like we've got notes from whoever owned this cookbook before. Oh yeah, looks like they tried some recipes in here, the soups. Okay. Noodles, how to make noodles, egg balls, egg custard, all kinds of neat things. Fish, shellfish, fried fish, beef. There's lamb and mutton in there. Vegetables. Oh, this looks good. I'll try the coleslaws. Different kinds of vegetable and sauces. Looks like they tried the mashed sweet potatoes. They adjusted the recipe. Whoops. It's pudding sauces. Cakes. Different desserts, pies, date pie. I don't think I've heard of date pie before. We make lots of different squares and what we call date cake, which is basically cooked dates with some sugar and vanilla, and then you layer it with graham crackers, but never tried date pie. Date cookies, date squares, like matrimonial squares, but date pie, that's interesting. Different kinds of pastries, desserts. We've got frostings in here. Fondants. Ornamental frosting. Interesting. I think that one looks like a royal icing. Molasses candy. Yes. Try that one again. We've made molasses candy before, but the recipe we had, it's up on our blog. And yeah, the first time we followed the directions exactly and we ended up with candy that was not taffy. It was like hard as a rock. Still good, but that was a bit of a fail. So velvet molasses candy. I love molasses, so I might try that. Vinegar candy. That's interesting. All kinds of taffies and candies. All right, all kinds of different caramels, candies. That's pretty cool. I like old-fashioned things. Lots of fun. All kinds of different casseroles and Welsh rarebit. We tried that when we did 1940s days. It's actually not that bad. It's like a cheese sauce, basically. It's just like a gravy on toast. But it's really tasty. All right, and then we have different ways of preserving and canning fruits, jams, different ways to preserve things, recipes for the sick. And this is what I love about old cookbooks. They always have different things like this, remedies, or just different things to feed somebody that's sick, and to have like a sick room so that person's in their own room. And you always have to air it out and change the bedding and all kinds of directions on how to look after somebody. Different things to make them. Gruel. There's lots of different recipes for that. All kinds of cornmeal and oatmeal. Rennet custard. Interesting. And then there's all kinds of menus back here. So that's kind of cool for full course dinners. And then there's all kinds of explanations if you're not sure what something is. Terminology, I guess you could say. Different kinds of courses. And then, of course, we have the index. So, oh, and then we have ads. Oh, this is the part I love the most about old-fashioned cookbooks. So there's one for baking powder, extracts, gelatin, starch, cornstarch, coconut butter. And I love the spelling. Back then, a lot of words were just like kind of spelled how it sounded. I don't know where our spelling changed. Cereals, furnishings. Wow, that's pretty cool. Old stove. I love this kind of stuff. I love history, especially like food history. It's my favorite. I love seeing all this. I love all the old ads. Pretty neat. All right, so that is our cookbook. You can definitely tell it's been well loved. And I'm happy that it's in really such good shape. I'll see if I can clean it up a little bit. Maybe I can make a book cover for it just to protect it a bit more. But it's still pretty good considering it's from 1896. So there we have it. I will be sharing some recipes with you. And yeah, I'm excited to share this with you. So here's the coffee recipe we will be making today. This boiled coffee is also known as Cowboy Coffee or church basement coffee. My daughter is lighting her tallow candle, and we're going to get started by grinding our coffee beans. Now we're using a handheld grinder, and it can be a little unstable. And the coffee beans tend to get jammed. So sometimes you have to loosen it up or shake it up a little bit. And so it worked better when my daughter held the coffee still, the grinder, and then I was just cranking it. It worked a lot better to grind those coffee beans. And like I said, they tend to get jammed, so I just kind of loosen them up every once in a while and keep on going. It really is best to use plain coffee beans for this, and to actually grind the beans produces a much better coffee than pre-ground. We need 1 cup of ground coffee. So we filled this twice, and it gave the exact amount that we needed. Yay, we finally ground all those beans. We got the coffee. It smells so good. It's so fragrant. And we're using a local coffee bean that was roasted just a few weeks ago. All that work, and there's our 1 cup of ground coffee. So to our bowl, we're adding the egg, the entire egg, the shell and the egg. An egg was used to help settle the grounds of the coffee, as well as improving the quality and flavor of low-quality coffee beans. It also helps clump the grounds, stretch the coffee, and help remove a little bit of the acidity from the coffee. We're going to whisk the egg slightly and then add the coffee grounds. And then we're going to add half a cup of cold water. And then stir or whisk until it's all nice and smooth and has come together. I've warmed my coffee pot, and now we're going to add the coffee mixture. And then next we are going to be adding our 6 cups of boiling water. Once we have all the boiling water in our coffee pot, we will bring it to a light boil and cook it for 3 minutes. We don't want to overcook the coffee or boil it too long or too harshly. Like, we don't want a rolling boil, because it will bring out too much of the tannic acids, causing the coffee to be quite bitter. And overcooking it will cause the coffee to be cloudy. Remove it from the heat, and we're going to add half a cup of cold water. Place it on the back of the stove, and it's going to sit for 10 minutes. Then it'll be ready to serve. All right, now that our coffee is made from 1896, let's give it a try. All right, we have our coffee poured. I'm excited to give it a try. We did make the coffee this way before, but we used pre-ground coffee and flavored coffee, which I think was a total fail. It was really bitter and basically you couldn't drink it. It was disgusting. So I'm excited to give this a try. We got fresh local beans that were roasted just a few weeks ago, and we freshly ground it. So I'm really excited to see if grinding it yourself and not flavored makes a difference. So, okay, let's give it a try. Um, Actually, that's pretty good. It is smooth, but it does have like the aftertaste a little bit bitter. But I think that's just coffee in general, kind of sometimes has that bitterness to it. It is a light roasted coffee bean, but let me give it another try. I think it's pretty good considering usually I add lots of cream and stuff to my coffee. So it is pretty good for it just being black straight out the pot. And I'm impressed like how clear and how nice this coffee is, considering we have the egg and the eggshell and all that in there. I couldn't believe it. It's great. It's nice and smooth to drink. It's flavorful. You can definitely taste like that fresh like coffee taste. And yeah, so I hope you give the coffee from 1896 a try and let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye, everyone.